What happens when a global superpower declares economic war? Not just on rivals, but on the entire world. The answer is hitting Wall Street hard. This week, the US stock market suffered its worst collapse since the pandemic. And at the heart of it all, President Trump's tariffs. Welcome to TVAI, where we bring you deep analysis on global events shaping our world. In today's report, we examine the financial shockwave tearing through the American economy. With sweeping new import tariffs now in effect, President Trump's bold economic move has sent Wall Street into a nosedive, triggering panic, uncertainty, and fears of a looming global recession. This isn't just about market charts or numbers on a screen. It's about jobs, trade wars, and the future of global economic stability. So how did we get here? And more importantly, what happens next? Let's break it all down. This week, all three major US stock indices plummeted, marking the worst performance since the COVID-19 market crash in 2020. S&P 500 dropped 6% in just 5 days. Dow Jones Industrial Average lost over 2,200 points, down 5.5%. Nasdaq Composite collapsed 5.8%, officially entering bear market territory, with more than 20% drop from its previous peak. Wall Street traders are calling this a bloodbath. Economic analysts are warning of a ripple effect across global markets. And for millions of investors and everyday Americans, this sudden downturn is more than just numbers. It's personal. President Trump announced a sweeping new tariff policy. Starting immediately, we will impose a 10% minimum tariff on all imported goods, with additional tariffs, up to 34%, targeting specific countries like China, Mexico, and Germany. The justification? Restoring American strength, according to the president. But the consequences have been immediate and brutal. Within hours of Trump's announcement, China retaliated with full force. Effective April 10th, a blanket 34% tariff will apply to all U.S. goods entering Chinese territory, declared Beijing. The move instantly soured already fragile U.S.-China trade relations, reigniting fears of a new cold trade war. And it didn't stop there. Germany, Mexico, Canada, and even South Korea expressed outrage and hinted at countermeasures. The EU Commission threatened sanctions on U.S. tech firms. Mexico suspended upcoming trade talks with Washington. India initiated a probe into anti-competitive behavior by U.S. agro exports. Markets around the world reacted violently. FTSE 100, UK down 3.4%, Nikkei 225, Japan down 2.8%, Hang Seng Index, Hong Kong down 3.9%, DAX, Germany down 4.1%. This isn't just an American issue. It's a global financial earthquake. The so-called Magnificent Seven tech giants, including Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Tesla, and Nvidia, all saw steep declines. Apple alone lost over $140 billion in market cap this week. JP Morgan Chase, minus 7.2%, Citigroup, minus 7.6%, Bank of America, minus 6.8%. Investors pulled out en masse, fearing exposure to global loans, capital flight, and potential defaults in emerging markets. Companies reliant on global supply chains, like Ford, General Motors, and Walmart, suffered sharp sell-offs. Every screw, every chip, every ounce of steel we import just got more expensive, said one auto executive. The Federal Reserve is now under enormous pressure to act. Calls to cut interest rates have grown louder, especially from Wall Street, which sees the tariffs as a drag on consumer spending and business investment. But Fed Chair Jerome Powell is cautious. We recognize the volatility, but monetary policy cannot solve structural trade issues. Analysts expect emergency measures if market conditions deteriorate further, including rate cuts, liquidity injections, potential revival of quantitative easing. Economists are divided, but the risk is real. Some projections now put the chance of a U.S. recession in 2025 at over 60%. Key warning signs: inverted yield curve, falling consumer confidence, slowing manufacturing output, rising unemployment claims. Meanwhile, the IMF downgraded global GDP forecasts from 2.8% to 2.2%, citing tariff-driven fragmentation and cross-border retaliation. Even corporate leaders are issuing grim outlooks. One CEO said, "We're entering an economic Cold War, and there will be casualties." Supporters argue that Trump's bold tariff move is a strategic masterstroke to bring back American jobs and manufacturing. They view short-term pain as a necessary price for long-term independence. Critics, however, label it economic sabotage, a policy that alienates allies, inflames enemies, and punishes American consumers. Polls show the nation divided. 49% support the tariffs, 47% oppose, 4% undecided. With an election year looming, the stakes are not just economic, they're political. Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, this level of economic nationalism hasn't been seen since the 1930s. And we all know how that ended. Mohamed El-Arian, Allianz chief economic advisor, markets hate uncertainty. And this administration just served a full buffet of it. Paul Krugman, Nobel Prize-winning economist, it's like punching yourself in the face to win a staring contest. The tariffs and their aftermath have raised existential questions. Is this the end of globalization as we know it? Are we witnessing the fracturing of the post-World War II economic order? Can free markets survive in an era of economic nationalism and digital borders? Some nations are already turning inward, boosting domestic production, securing critical resources, and reshaping alliances. The BRICS Plus bloc, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and more, is gaining momentum as a counterweight to Western influence. A new economic order may be emerging, one where friendshoring replaces free trade, and geopolitical alignment determines your business prospects. Markets are shaky, global confidence is low, and political tensions are rising. As President Trump doubles down on tariffs, and the world retaliates, the question remains: will this gamble pay off, or are we headed toward a deeper, more dangerous economic rift? One thing is clear: the road ahead will be turbulent. But while policymakers debate and markets tumble, it's the average American who feels the squeeze. From groceries to gasoline, prices are beginning to tick upward as import costs rise. At a local supermarket in Ohio, shoppers already report higher prices on everyday goods like coffee, canned tuna, and electronics. This week alone, I spent 15% more on the same basket I bought 2 weeks ago, said one shopper. And small business owners are sounding the alarm. We're paying more for supplies, but we can't keep raising prices. Customers are already stretched thin, said a hardware store manager in Wisconsin. Ural farmers, a core base of Trump's political support, are facing collateral damage. With China halting orders for U.S. soybeans and pork, inventories are piling up and prices are falling. One farmer in Iowa told us, "I voted for him. I believed in bringing jobs back. But now I can't sell my crops and my debt's mounting." Farm bankruptcies, which had been declining, have ticked up for the first time in 2 years. Thanks for watching TVAI, where global events meet sharp analysis. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell to stay updated on critical developments around the world. Until next time, stay informed and stay sharp.